smart.
You're smart.
No, not
Yes.
smart.
Yes, smart.
Stupid.
No! You're not stupid.
Stupid and dumb
And ignorant. No.
and useless. No.
Don't think about yourself like that, please.
Alright, I'm good. I'm good. There's no more tea in my lungs.
God damn it. God damn it.
What?
God damn it.
Okay.
God damn it.
Drink.
I don't know. There we go. I love ya.
The headache that other game gave me, it's still here.
Oh no. Oh no, it gave me an actual headache.
No, it actually did give me a headache. Like,
Okay. Mr. Portsman, if you're ready. Really? And now it starts fucking up?
Yep.
I'm gonna keep this in the corner to see if anything happens.
Just
Yeah?
to let you know, I can't actually hear it, like, when it fucks up, because Skype already fucks up, so it's fucking up.
Okay.
Like, if it gets really bad, I'll be able to tell, but most of the time it's like, okay, I believe you, I think.
Okay. It's little stutters. Just saying little stutters.
Okay.
You know what? Hey, I can't wait till we can play Ghost Trick. And like, the most of the performance issues I got out of it, I feel like. So that's really good. So we can play Ghost Trick, Phantom Detective, and it's gonna be perfect and awesome, and I love you.
Love you too.
It's gonna be fun. Anyway.
Alright, are you gonna fucking... I think
Yes.
Mr. Portsman is ready now. It's been 10 minutes.
Oh, if you don't have time, you could just say so, sure. Mr. Portsman logic. Detective Gumshoe, you stole Jim's gun from him and shot him dead. Further, you messed up the files to make it look like you had committed theft instead. That's when you moved Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf. But thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters in his body was hiding. And it will be by his final words that you will be brought to justice. And Mia coughed.
I'm sorry.
It's
I'm
no
terribly sorry. There may not be tea in my lungs, but there's still a lot of mucus because I'm still getting over that cold.
I love you, sweetie. Don't worry
I
about
love
it.
you too, but I am
Dying.
still recovering from my near-death experience.
Okay. You want to know?
And now I'm gonna sneeze. Fucking hell.
You can't catch a break, can you?
Oh my god. Oh, there's still more sneezes I can feel.
It's okay, sweetie. Don't. It's okay. You intend to argue that the victim's dying message points to this killer? I can hear Jim's voice, and he's calling for this killer's arrest. Are you sure you're not mishearing his words, Mr. Portman? There's no way Detective Gumshoe is the culprit here. I will find the flaw in this man's logic.
Oh, so you're saying the other dude's name wrong?
Portsman?
I'm pretty sure. You keep saying Portman instead of Portsman.
I'm pretty sure.
Though why they had to put the S in there is beyond me, because normally it's just Portman.
It's probably some kind of
Unless-
pun that I'm not getting.
I guess, maybe.
I'm not seeing profiles. Okay.
Perhaps we don't have profiles yet. Or they're not in this game.
Or we can't see them in the present menu. We can't do it either in Dual Destinies.
Oh, true.
Ba, 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 ba.
It's only if they specifically ask for a person.
Yeah. Which is good.
Yeah, means you can't get confused with that. Stole James' gun and shot him dead. That's... You'd think they'd be... Have they dusted the gun for fingerprints yet?
I think so. I don't know.
Well then. There should be...
No
two
fingerprints
sets of
of...
fingerprints
Yeah.
on there.
Anyway.
Or none.
Yeah. Detective Gumshoe, you stole Jim's gun from him and shot him dead. Hold it! You know, there's something I've been meaning to ask. Oh, I should, put in this chat as well. Ba, ba, ba. You know, there's something I've been meaning to ask. Huh? What is it? Why do you call the victim Jim? When clearly his name is Buddy Faith. Isn't it obvious? Jim is the perfect name for my companion. Jacques and Jim.
Fuck. What the fuck? What kind of self-centered, stuck-up, piece of shit, rich boy?
Yeah. Well, rich boy isn't necessarily a part of that argument, but yeah.
Have you met rich people before? I can assure you it is most definitely.
Not all rich people
Did
are
you
like
know-
that. There are also
Did you know
kind
it's
rich
been
people.
scientifically proven that the more money you accumulate, the less empathy you have?
Oh. I mean, there's got to be some outliers. There's got to be some exceptions.
Yeah. Probably, but I don't think a person who likes to rename other people so they sound better
Yes.
with him
Yeah. It's kind of stupid.
would be an outlier to that.
Yeah. However, logically speaking, this does not mean he's rich. The implication is that rich means stuck up, but stuck up does not mean rich. However, if you were to say if he would not be stuck up, then he would not be rich,
Alright, well,
according to that logic, at least.
what? Also,
Yep.
what's up with your, sorry, not to change the, thing on purpose, it's fucking, take a step back, young man. More. Original position, please. Thank you. Why is your thing on the side purple?
Oh, because I wanted to put stuff over it, and like if it was like fully colored, then like it would like be hard to see.
Okay.
So it's just a purple thing that's like masking the thing.
Okay.
Blah blah blah.
Alright, continue. Continue. Alright. He's an asshole.
Yeah. Don't those names go together like peanut butter and jam? But Jim isn't even close to the guy's real name. Well, Jock and Buddy just sounds off somehow. Besides, he was the third of a bunch of guys I decided to nickname Jim. Talks about the victim like it was his pet. Further, you messed up the files to make it look like you had committed theft instead. Do you really think it was necessary to just shuffle my shelves twice to do that? That's true. Okay, then maybe it was his intent was theft. Hey, are you accusing me of stealing something from Mr. Edgeworth? It's a possibility. Maybe your salary's been cut so much that life is getting a little too rough to handle. I'll have you know that I eat 3 square meals every day, pal. Yeah?
Sorry.
No,
He wouldn't have had to steal like in that way.
Mm-hmm.
He could have easily just been quietly taking things and not have to rush around through that because Edgeworth's been gone for a while.
Yeah.
So that doesn't really make any sense.
He knew, he should have known like when he would come back.
Yeah. Well, he did know. Like, he was expecting Edgeworth.
Yeah.
So he would have known how long he had to, 1, search for the note, and 2, crack open that safe, if that were his real intent.
Yeah. It also doesn't really make sense that, like, that Buddy would have come in if, like, Gumshoe was doing his normal rounds.
True.
Okay, so all 3 of you happen to be instant noodles, but... Poor thing, what an evil prosecutor you were paired up with. And what a motive, no? Oh god. That's when you moved Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf. Hold it! But what?
Okay, if he searched through the papers... after shooting Buddy, then what would be on those papers?
Blood.
A lot of blood.
Blood.
And guess what's not on those papers?
Blood. Yeah, but also
exactly.
Like, there could also just be suspension of disbelief. Like, there wasn't that much blood to begin with.
Huh? He was sitting in a pool of blood.
Not a very big one.
It was enough to soak his entire ass. That's pretty big.
Yeah, but behind him there was no big splatter. There was only like on his hands, basically, which is kind of weird.
Well, okay, he's grabbed his gunshot wound, and then steadied
both
himself on the shelf behind him.
Yeah, and then he collapsed.
And then collapsed and bled. Okay, you bleed quite a bit from your organs. You know that when they're shot, right?
I know, logically speaking, but there isn't that much.
Let me see. I can't see through that tiny thing. Don't you have a lower screen setting? There you go. That's quite a bit.
I mean, yeah, but like, see, there isn't like a good image of like the actual position in which he was. Which sucks.
His hands, pretty much his entire midsection, and his butt is all covered in blood. That's quite a bit.
But I don't think the shelves were like covered in blood. The papers were covered in blood. Anyway, and why would Detective Gumshoe do such a thing? Because the body was getting in his way. He had to mess up your bookshelf somehow, right? Anyway, but thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters and his body was hiding.
Hold it! Why do you think that the killer didn't notice the bloody letters?
The body was covering it quite well, wouldn't you say? That's how he missed it. But judging by what I've seen, it doesn't take much for your detective to miss something.
Who do you think you are? You know nothing about me, pal.
There's a lot a person can understand about one another from first impressions alone.
I can't say I disagree with him on that point. Why don't you say something, sure? Not you too, Mr. Edgeworth! Despite his lack of attention to detail, I don't believe the detective was to be the culprit. Nobody could have overlooked the bloody letters, and I can prove it with evidence.
I could ask for a better setup for the game finishing spike. I mean, there's a
volleyball player.
There's a single book missing.
Oh, true.
Like, really, the killer must have seen it. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a book missing. Yeah. However, there was just one missing, so we could clearly still read it. So then the killer would have been the dumbest. If Gumshoe was the killer, he must have been very stupid, like stupider than he should be. Which I don't think to be the case.
Even Gumshoe in the past has noticed when things have bloody writing on them.
Yes. Well, that's not the thing. It's just like he must have noticed if he was the killer, because he took one of the files away. But like he must have known that only taking the M of Gumshoe, it would say it would still like read Gumshoe if people would see it. Like
yeah,
they would fill in the gap.
All the folders or none of them.
Yeah.
Are you saying that those letters were intended for you?
Yep, Jim was an outstanding detective. I would expect no less from my former partner.
It looks like Mr. Portsman still doesn't understand. He's yet to figure out the true meaning behind the bloody letters.
What are you sputtering over there? Can't you just admit my logic is perfectly sound?
Actually, there's a gigantic flaw in his logic. A gap so wide that even the good detective can spot it. Now to clue Mr. Portsman in by presenting him with some evidence.
I don't need to save for this one. Okay. Present.
Or
damn it.
not.
These controls are a little bit difficult. Why?
Objection! Perhaps you're not aware, Mr. Portsman, but there's a serious flaw in your logic.
Ha! Bringing a bit of the quorum into this. I see, no problem, I'm game.
I can help but find it odd.
Excuse me?
Odd that a fellow prosecutor would be brought down by the power of his own office.
Well, what are you talking about? Oh, you're joking, I get it.
If you have time to laugh, then you have the time to look at another, closer look at this. Do you still not see? If not, may I direct your attention to the missing file?
Well, what? That's impossible! He hadn't noticed that the file was missing? Huh.
What's impossible, Mr. Portsman?
Oh, nothing.
Oh, okay, so this ties into there are two people, two guns, okay?
Yes.
So, if he's shot the man,
yeah.
If he shot Buddy and written Gumshoe on there to try and frame Gumshoe, and then someone else has come in, threatened Edgeworth, stole the file,
yeah,
and
well,
fucked off.
stole the file first. He must have stolen the file first because we were standing we were standing closer to the file cabinet than the one who threatened us.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Anyway, the files on that shelf are all about a certain case. When the killer went to take the file after murdering your partner, I highly doubt they could have missed the bloody letters written on the spines.
It's possible. possible that they could have taken the file before committing the murder?
I think it's pretty obvious that the file was stolen after it was written on. Missing letters in the detective's name where the file should be is proof.
Yeah, I mean the S is gone and there's only half the H.
And Detective Gumshoe really was the culprit of this case. I highly doubt that even he could overlook his own name written in blood on the files. Especially as a detective who can't stand the sight of blood.
What the fuck was that?
That's, Mr. Portsman.
Which means, what exactly? What does it make this dying message?
It makes it the work of a criminal intent on tampering with the crime scene.
That's so low, I can't believe the criminal tried to pin this whole thing on me, sir. I'm gonna get him, sir, you'll see. I'm gonna have him under arrest in no time.
He's speaking like this now.
Don't do it.
No.
Well, Mr. Portsman.
Brilliant! Absolutely splendid! Logic deserving of Olympic gold!
I appreciate the praise, but it doesn't change the fact that your reasoning is flawed.
Meh. You win some, you lose some. That's how life goes.
Glad everyone's so cheery, even though I feel more dead than alive.
But you know, it's really a shame. I really didn't want to have to bring this up, however.
Well, what is it this time? Are you still after me, pal?
Humor me for a second. Who has the key to this office?
That would be me. But Mr. Edgeworth just proved that I'm innocent, pal.
That's absolutely right, and I acknowledge your innocence.
Then why do I sense that you still have something to say?
Well, I was thinking, did you know there's one other person with a key to this office?
One other person?
Hey, you there! Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What is it, sir? Would you kindly fetch and escort that lovely young lady here for me?
A lady?
There goes a member of this building's security. Think of her as a material witness.
Security? Did you say security? No, stop it, pal. Don't.
What's wrong with him all of a sudden? Oh.
I believe she needs no introduction. I have called upon Miss Maggie Bird, a member of security.
Oh.
Detective Gumshoe, sir?
Maggie.
Miss Bird is security guard on watch tonight.
I see, and your point is?
My point is that she could very well have used it. And by it, I mean the master key, which can open all of the office doors in this building.
What?
If you are not the guilty party, Detective Gumshoe, then the only other person with access to this room is Miss Bird. How dare you! I would never sneak into someone's room!
That's right, I refuse to believe Maggie's the culprit, pal.
Is there a problem?
No, I was yawning.
Oh, okay.
It was me, that's right, I did it.
Can we take that as a confession, Detective?
Well, it wasn't really me, but I definitely wasn't Maggie, pal. So yeah, it was me, so if it was, you have no problems with that, right?
Please refrain from flying off the handle, Detective. There's no need for such theatrics.
Listen to your boss, Detective. He understands what I'm saying here. That girl is the only one who could have committed the crime, and I'm gonna have to change something on YouTube. I gotta go to the live dashboard because it's also like uploading to YouTube, and I forgot to set Ace Attorney investigations. I love how he's like still like he doesn't know. Should I put it on or off? Or on or off? Or on or off? That's kind of his thing.
I don't know.
What? Okay, here it is. Got it. Boom boom bam boom boom bam 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 bam boom bam 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 bam.
That girl is the only one who could have committed the crime, and for one simple reason. Reason for suspicion. It's pretty obvious that Miss Bird snuck into your room using the master key. I mean, if Detective Gumshoe isn't the one who opened the door, that leaves only Miss Bird as our prime suspect. On top of which, she knows our good detective, doesn't she? Making it all that more probable that she was the one who faked the dying message.
So you're saying she used the master key?
Incredibly incriminating evidence, wouldn't you say?
And that's what you claimed about the evidence earlier as well.
That was then. This is now. The flow of a good match always changes during a rally. It's all about your... What?
Unless there's spiking in tennis that I don't know about.
It's all about the reflex and the reaction time, especially for an athlete like me.
You're an athlete. Huh. I wonder if there was anyone else other than Miss Bird who could have used the master key. It seems that the only way to get Mr. Portsman to give me more details is to press them.
It's pretty obvious.
Are you sure Miss Bird is the only member of security who could have used the master key?
There's only one person on staff at this time of night, and tonight, she's it. Isn't that right, Miss Bird? That's, true, but I wasn't able to use the master key at the time of the crime, sir!
Wasn't able to? What's that supposed to mean?
Yes, moving on. I'd hate to get sidetracked by something unrelated.
What do you mean unrelated? I want to hear what she has to say, pal.
But you can't really trust her to not to tell lies. Plus, I hate wasting time.
Should I hear Miss Bird out?
Ask for more details.
Not so fast. I too am interested in hearing what Miss Bird has to say.
Didn't I say it'd just be a waste of time? We don't need to hear her lies.
I'll be the judge of that. Miss Bird, if you please.
I discovered that the master key was missing around 1 AM, sir.
What do you mean by missing?
I said it wasn't anywhere in the security booth, sir. The killer must have stolen it.
Mr. Portsman, I believe this to be an important piece of testimony, don't you?
I can't believe someone like you would be taken in by such words. I'm not lying, sir. Objection! Objection! If that's the case, then I'd like to know, why do you have the master key now? I don't quite know. It just reappeared all of a sudden, sir. Ha! A likely story. And where's your proof that the key was stolen to begin with? I bet you just forgot where you put it and then found it again. I never lose things. I practically guarantee that. With me, if something disappears, it's usually because someone stole it.
Yeah, pal, trust me. You don't want to test how bad her luck is.
Unfortunately, I can't deem this piece of testimony as conclusive.
Glad you agree, Mr. Edgeworth.
But you still haven't established Maggie's motive for breaking into Mr. Edgeworth's office.
A motive? Didn't we already establish it was theft? I mean, the culprit clearly went through the bookshelves and at least tried the safe.
It is as Mr. Portsman says, Detective. I can't ignore the fact that the evidence points toward the motive of theft. But I'm done taking blows. It's time to counterattack with a few facts of my own.
You doing all right?
Yeah.
If you, do you have anything to add to what has been said? Or are you a little tired?
I'm
He's him with his jacket. God damn it.
I'm not sleepy, I'm just slightly annoyed.
By what? Still by the previous game?
Yes and no.
What are you frustrated by, sweetie?
That Skype is a restriction.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to switch to the other Skype? Was that better?
No? If
No?
that weren't cut delay.
Okay. Yeah. But you can jump in at any time. It's no problem, really.
What do you mean?
Well, if you have to say something, like, don't keep yourself from saying it, even the risk of there being a delay. I don't mind. I get that there's delay that makes you talk through me.
Anyway. For the moment, there must be security cameras around the security booth for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
So they could be easily checked to back up Maggie's statement. Also, his collar is so long, he keeps bumping into it every time he's trying to do a striptease.
He's really, like, having a hard time deciding whether he should put his jacket on or not.
Maybe it's like slightly humid in there, so he can't decide whether he's warmer with or without it.
Yeah, maybe. Meanwhile, Edgeworth is just taking the warmth with his jacket on. Like, it might be warm, but I'm a true gentleman. And this fuck-up can't do shit. Anyway.
Her intent for the messed up shelves to the wiped down safe? I'd say thievery. Hold it!
Well,
Does
okay, so...
Does the mic work?
Hold it!
No, it's not working. Sorry. That's too bad. Yeah? Yeah?
Okay, if she has stolen a file, as Portsman is saying, then she hasn't had a chance to go home at all. It should still be somewhere within the building then.
Yes, it should be.
So, I believe that would be our next step to both search security cameras and around the place for the missing file to find out whether or not Maggie is killed.
Yeah. Or at least the thief. Anyway.
Yeah, at least the thief.
Yeah.
Because even Mr. Portsman doesn't know that there was a second person threatening Mr. Edgeworth.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Because he was unaware of the stolen file. He thought it was a complete name there, which also rules out the possibility that he tampered with the crime scene point and put that gumshoe there while he was paying his last respects to Jim.
Yeah. Buddy.
You can't see my quotation marks, and I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. I concur that the combat's motive appears to have been thievery, however.
Glad to hear that the great Miles Edgeworth is in agreement with little old me.
However, with regard to the investigation of the bookshelves and safe...
Hey, good thinking, asking for my opinion on the matter.
Would it be too much for you to allow me to complete a full sentence?
Oh, fuck you! Portsman!
I thought we had established Detective Gumshoe's innocence pretty... We had established Detective Gumshoe's innocence pretty thoroughly.
It was just a theory, one hypothesis among many possibilities. I mean, I had my doubts about Miss Bird from the very beginning.
If that's the case, why didn't you mention her first?
Now, don't make that face. See, there goes the truth running the other way. Let's pick up the pace and see if we can't catch up to it.
I don't think you're catching my drift.
But we are in agreement that the detective isn't the killer, right? If so, then I hope that you'll understand when I say that since she is the only one who could have opened your office door.
She's most certainly not the only one, if
the key went actually missing.
Well, even if the key didn't go missing, as in she didn't notice it going missing, then anyone still could have opened the door because, well, if it's sitting in a room instead of on her person, which was clear from her
image.
That's not testimony. It's oh fuck.
The little image that was shown.
Yeah, from the image that was shown, if it was kept in the room versus on her body, then anyone could have stolen it without her knowing and returned it quite easily.
Yeah.
Especially with it being under the cover of night and all that, so if they're willing to steal a file, I'm sure a key would be absolutely no trouble.
Yeah.
I wonder though, how many sets of fingerprints would be on that master key?
I don't even know if they're gonna do fingerprints.
Would it be too many to do a fingerprint test, perhaps?
Maybe. Shall we continue?
Yes. Yes. You don't have to stop for me in the first place.
Well, it's a little bit hard to like keep going because I do the voice acting during these sections.
Right.
Don't you think it's a bit early to be jumping to conclusions?
Are you saying that there's another way to open the door other than with the master key? Oh, I get it. Perhaps you had a spare made for someone else.
Well, if you know, I have never made a spare, so what are you insinuating?
Nothing. I guess I should have known better than to suggest that someone like you would.
On top of which
Sorry,
Yeah?
His flowers have a cravat as well.
Okay,
He's
we'll
so
see.
fancy.
Okay, hold on.
Cravat
We're gonna restart Skype because the audio is being weird. Okay?
Oh, is it? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Boo boo wee boo boo beep boo. And we're back. Can you talk?
Well, I'm back.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah. And I don't believe, Elgato is being nice. I'm happy with this. This is good.
Don't jinx it.
I'm
Don't
very
jinx it.
happy that Elgato is finally not fucking up anymore. Okay. Now that I thoroughly jinxed it,
please-
we're gonna have fun.
Alright, come on. Touch wood, please. God, I'm doing it. Touch wood.
If there anyone, oh, touch wood. Did it. My desk is made of wood.
Yeah, same. But you haven't ever heard of that to cure
No.
jinx? Just
No.
touch wood?
No.
Huh?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sweetie, I live in the Netherlands. Stuff that is like originates from English-speaking countries don't get here as fast.
What do you mean doesn't get here as fast? I mean, does it really take
Like the more obscure,
300 plus years
the more
for it
obscure-
to get to the Netherlands?
the more obscure things about certain things that are not from our country, like sometimes just doesn't reach the place. So
Okay.
Only the Jinx made it here.
Huh?
And I feel like it's relatively new
But
to us.
not a way to cure the jinx. Okay, fine, whatever.
Yeah, you just messed up, that's all. It's just fucked up. There's no way back.
Well, now there is. Touch
Yay.
your fucking desk.
Objection! Anyway. Is there anyone in this district who hasn't at least heard of Detective Gumshoe?
Good point. He's practically a celebrity among us prosecutors.
Wait, I never knew I was talked about, sir.
We're holding our collective breath, you know. But when you screw up so badly, you're literally chased off the force.
Wait, what? Is that true, Mr. Edgeworth?
Of course not. That's hogwash.
Phew. I was scared like that. I almost had a heart attack there.
Oh my god, poor Gumshoe.
Oh no!
My dying message, you mean the bloody letters that spell out Gumshoe?
I figure that whoever wrote his name must have wanted to frame him. And just the act of choosing his name was proof enough that the two knew each other well.
Mr. Edgeworth, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and present some evidence.
I would love to, but first we should listen a bit more and digest what he's saying. Press him for more information.
Okay.
Why does his jacket make so much noise?
I don't know.
What is it made of? It sounds like.
Louder?
It sounds
Like loud leather?
squishy. But it sounds
I don't
squishy
know.
almost.
But in any case, only prosecutors know of the safes. So,
Oh, yes.
Objection! Do you wish to continue insisting that Miss Bird was set on stealing or something?
why not? It's the truth after all. It was also by your logic that we came to the whole thievery conclusion anyway.
That may be, but you must also be aware of the fact that the safe is a secret safe, the existence of which is only privy to prosecutors. Or privy.
Ah!
I find it a little hard to believe that a hidden safe was a part of her cunning plan.
But she could have found it by accident while she was turning everything else upside down.
I highly doubt that. I say the culprit knew exactly what they were looking for. After all, only the bookshelf and the safe were targeted.
Oh. Well.
Yeah, even I didn't know about that safe, pal. And that means there's no way Maggie could have known about it either.
Then are you proposing that the killer is a prosecutor?
Interesting conclusion. That's certainly looking more and more probable. What's wrong, prosecutor? Do you have a different... I know it's exactly what's happening. Do you have a different suspect in mind now?
Curses! Why? What made you? Oh, why you with the angry face all of a sudden?
It's all my fault.
What do you mean?
It's Jim. He knew about the existence of the secret safes.
What did you just say?
We are partners, like inseparable conjoined twins.
Wow.
That's why I told him. I filled him in on the secret safes.
And that means...
Yeah, I know. I had only just told him to. Obviously, it was wrong of me to tell him. I still can't quite believe it, but the thief who broke into your room was probably Jim.
I was claiming that the victim was a thief.
And you were simply trying to stop him, weren't you? Miss Maggie Bird? Excuse me? I mean, you are a security guard, right? That's your job. But killing is going a bit too far, even in your risky profession.
What the? You're still accusing Maggie of the murder?
Yes and no. I mean, she had stumbled upon Jim, who had probably had drawn his gun. I get it. It was self-defense, wasn't it? No, I couldn't. I could never done something like that. Not even as a security guard, sir. I accidentally pressed the trigger.
Plus, even if he was a thief, he wouldn't have a key to his office.
Which is precisely why you had to steal it, wouldn't you say? It was Jim who stole the master key. Ah! Pretty impossible for a supposedly stolen key to be here with us, unless you retrieved it from Jim after you killed him.
Mr. Portsman, are you honestly accusing your own partner of being a thief?
I don't want to admit it, but it's the only way for everything else to make sense.
Has he no honor?
Now then, I think we're done here. The investigation waits for no man. Would you be able to be so kind as to see yourselves out?
You can't kick us out. This is Mr. Edgeworth's office.
Ah, but I'm the one who's been assigned to this case. You're all suspects to varying degrees, and therefore ineligible to run this show.
Listen, pal. How many times do I have to say this? Maggie can't be the culprit.
Detective Gumshoe, calm yourself.
But sure.
We have no choice but to accommodate his request for now.
Haha! Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. At least one of you understands. Now then, if you could remove yourselves from my crime scene, I'd be most grateful.
Mark my words, Mr. Portsman, we will meet again.
If that's a formal request from the legendary prosecutor himself, then I suppose so. Now, don't disappoint me, you hear?
God damn it. To be continued. Fact.
Yeah?
How is he not involved in the case too, though? Considering it was his partner.
Yeah.
I believe that to be a little too close as well.
Yep. He's been assigned though, so we can't really fight that, I guess.
Well, he's... Miles Edgeworth is the head prosecutor. He could easily assign someone else to it.
What? He's not.
Isn't he?
No. He's just legendary.
Are you sure about that?
Yes. He's at least not yet.
Okay.
Yeah. He isn't by the time of Dual Destinies, he is. He's then chief prosecutor. But this takes place 1 month after Trials and Tribulations. So even before Apollo Justice. Nope. So that's like 7 years or 7 to 8 years before Dual Destinies.
Okay.
What's with that prosecutor? I can't believe how rude he was. It was unbelievable.
Please maintain your professionalism, Detective.
I'm gonna find some real solid evidence proving Maggie's innocence, you see, sir.
But we've been kicked out of the crime scene, sir.
It's true. So then what now?
Looks like my life's fallen into yet another gigantic ditch.
Do not despair, Miss Bird. We can overcome this as well. There are many other places and things we should be looking into anyway.
Oh, really, sir?
For example, this hallway. The linchpin of this argument against Miss Bird is related to the master key. In that case, this hallway is the perfect place to look for more information regarding the mystery surrounding my door.
12th floor,
I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny.
Well, that's very suspicious.
It's the file.
Isn't that
So he hid it here.
missing 0 series file, sir?
No doubt about it. The bloodletter's marked as clear as day. There seems to be a few pages missing.
Yeah, but isn't... Wait, no. Portsman is like wearing those gloves with like Oh, with
He's
like
wearing fingerless gloves, so it
Yes,
would
exactly.
still leave fingerprints.
Yeah.
So what about these zero files about Shaw? I guess they've got something worth stealing in them, huh?
Not particularly, it's just a collection of court case files. However, the cases within these files are not mine.
Huh?
They belong to the High Prosecutor that used to occupy my current office. I have my reasons, but let's just say I was charged with keeping them as they were.
And that means your team must have also wanted to file for a specific reason, right?
It would seem so. Only the pages related to that case from 10 years ago are missing.
that case from 10 years ago.
Oh, good. Another one of these.
Yay. It's another DL6. Yay!
That case from that many years ago, and this case from that many years ago, and
Yeah, I remember that from that case from so many years ago.
ugh.
The thing is, like, I'm glad that isn't in Dual Destinies or Spirit of Justice. Like, they do have like things that go back years ago. Definitely, there's things that happened in the past. There's things you reminisce about, but there's no longer a case from then. Like KL9. What was it? I don't remember what it was.
I do appreciate it somewhat.
But it's been a bit of a trope.
There could be, fuck. I forgot.
Anyway, it's okay.
Oh my god.
You appreciate that the cases from so many years ago, but
I appreciate them, but the
find another way to say it.
it's not obscurity, the constant the inexplicitness, something like that, how it's never properly referred to, is a little on the frustrating side.
I get that. Yeah.
I wonder why anyone would care about such an old case.
Well, grabbed high quality sofa for visitors. The stitching is excellent.
Talk about luxury waiting area. These babies are also great for napping, you know.
You would sleep even out here, Detective? In a hallway?
Oh, now what I do? I always wind up having dreaming about giving testimony up on the stand. But it always ends in the same way. Me getting challenged by a lawyer. Isn't that awful?
Maybe we should give it a try sometime. But you envision myself winning, naturally. What is a basketball doing here?
That's Mr. Portsman prized possession, sure. I heard he also plays soccer, dodgeball, and even tennis.
Not even a single one of those sports is suitable to be played in a hallway.
Oh, hi.
It looks like you're in quite the pinch, Mr. Edgeworth.
Be sure a murderer within the walls of the prosecutor's office, no trifling matter. We must find, apprehend, and punish the killer accordingly, post-haste.
Sounds like a messy case you got on your hands.
If you ever feel lost or need some advice, my door is always open.
Oh, gracious, I will keep your offer in mind. Who is this guy again?
It's Mr. Payne.
What is a basketball hoop doing here? And didn't this used to be just outside the...
Hey, didn't this used to be just outside next to the building a long time ago?
Jesus, that's a heck of a sentence.
So when and why was it moved indoors?
I don't remember exactly, but I saw one of the officers drag it up here recently.
Drag it?
I heard it wouldn't fit in the elevator, so the poor guy had to bring it himself.
All the way up to the 12th floor? Oh, jeez. It's obvious.
123, 123. Hey, Maggie, whose room is this again?
It's Mr. Portsman, sir. Oh, it's right next door.
So he's my new neighbor, I see. I suppose he moved in while I was away overseas? These phone numbers on a number plate alone proclaim this to be my office.
Oops, hey, the number plate slide out right out, sir.
They have to be able to take the plate off when a room becomes vacant, you know. Although, the idea that it can also be easily removed is kind of... I don't see any signs of forced entry, and according to the guard, no signs that the lock was picked either.
No lock was picked either, sure.
Meaning the door really was open with a key. Did you happen to ask any prints were lifted from the doorknob?
Apparently the doorknob squeals a whistle. Wiped, I think.
Whoever this thief is, they did a good job of not leaving any clues behind.
No, majestic, sure. I wish I could be as stately as his door.
Only Gumshoe would praise a door as something greater than himself.
Oh wait, I should like not do voice acting in the investigation so we could just talk about stuff.
Whoops.
Yeah. That would be nice.
Yeah, being a detective has its own rewards and certain virtues value, I think. If you live up to your full potential, there's a poignant trait that anyone can admire. I see, so you're saying, sir, that me being me is the best thing I can do for everyone? Right. That long pause isn't exactly reassuring, sir. Yes, sir. If you must know, I weighed myself this morning and I'm actually at 154 pounds. Congratulations. But I was asking about this hallway in this room. Oh, everything okay, sir? Stay focused or you may start to lose even more weight. Talk to Maggie. I've always been a big fan of the courtroom, but this is like a dream where I'm being cross-examined by the Miles Edgeworth. Aww. Oh, she hasn't been in court yet with Miles Edgeworth. She's only been with only with Payne and Godot or Godot. I usually pronounce it Godot, so whatever.
I think it's Godot.
Okay.
Also, that was fucking weird with him.
Oh, you mean Godot?
Yeah.
He was quite the feller. I like him. I like him as a prosecutor.
Yeah.
He hadn't lost a single case, but he hadn't won one either.
That's really weird how he was technically undead though. That fucked with me a little bit. I mean, sure he was
Spoilers,
hot,
by the way.
True, I shouldn't.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying. That's quite the story. This is like a dream, Okay. can't let this chance pass me by. I must remember to ask you about the master key. Aww. Portsman wanted only him to make shots. That's stupid. She was under my supervision back when she was still in the force. One day she got caught up in a murder and things started going downhill, so she quit.
Why is everything suddenly getting louder? What the fuck?
It shouldn't be getting louder.
I guess Skype has been freaking out and cutting down the volume this whole time, and then it just suddenly went up to full volume.
Wow. Don't worry, my whole life has been nothing but a whirlwind of bad luck and failures. Since I was 6 months old, when I fell from the 9th floor of my apartment building, I've been hit by all sorts of vehicles, gotten sick from all sorts of foods, failed at almost every test I've taken, experienced almost every kind of disaster, and I even managed to be named a criminal, just when I've become a security guard. That's a lot to go through in one lifetime. Just when I thought I had finally found my happiness, I wind up getting you and Detective Gumshoe involved in my bad luck.
You don't need to worry about me, Miss Bird. Nor do you need to worry about yourself. I will solve this case and prove your innocence.
Aww. She is starstruck. From 1 to 30. Mm-hmm. Prosecutor who forgot his key. It was Mr. Portsman. Oh. She looks cute with that outfit.
She does.
Yeah, with her casual clothes as well. She's a cute girl in general.
That's very true.
Yeah. Investigation of Portsman's door.
I only know he's 29. Huh. He's not even that young. I thought he was younger. He said it was a prodigy, he said.
Prodigy.
Prodigy.
Not
Whoops.
prodigy.
Prodigy. Sorry. Huh, that's odd. Okay, so Jacques is older than Edgeworth, actually, in this game.
The fuck? Really?
Yeah, I believe so.
My god. He looked like 17, maybe.
Because, like, in, hold on, I should have it in my current case in Spirit of Justice. Miles Edgeworth was in there. You can check it. Won't show any spoilers, don't worry. I'll keep it running. Yeah, Pokemon Direct, I've seen it.
What?
The Pokemon Direct happened a while ago.
Oh, right, yeah.
Wednesday. Pokken Tournament DX Director's Cut for the Switch has been announced, as well as Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon for the 3DS, which will be releasing in November. So we gotta hurry up and beat the Pokemon games.
Oh.
Oh, I can bring Sun with me so we can play it at the same time. That'll be fun. I'm gonna bring my 3DS with me to you.
Okay.
Yeah. Nonsense. A man doesn't become more or less dignified because of where he works. He still seems more dignified than Mr. Payne. Mr. Payne, I suppose custodial work can also be dignified. You still managed to get lost. Logic. I don't know what the result of this is. Miss Bird, I'm afraid there's a flaw in your story. What? No way, pal. I mean, sir. She's taking those, like, little speech patterns from Gumshoe. It's cute. But also, like, Gumshoe is 32. Maggie's 23. I mean, it's alright.
Worst.
It's not the worst, but that's a 9-year gap. It's not a problem. I've seen bigger age differences and it still works out and it's all good, so. But like,
it's mostly when people are much younger that becomes a problem.
yeah, usually when it gets to the underage limit. Usually.
Not even that, like, when you're getting, like, under 20, but
Yeah.
in the 18 and 19, when you've got that sort of gap, it becomes sort of
Then it becomes kind of
not great.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like, close to the underage limit is what I meant. Like, so 18, 19.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Actually, you never did relock the door. Oh, maybe if I could go lock it after I found the key. I guess the door still hasn't been locked properly. Oh. It hasn't been locked properly. So that means... the door is the lore is docked tight, of course. The door is locked tight. You know, you're right. Miss Bird, are you sure you didn't relock this door? I'm certain of it, sir. And I don't think Mr. Portsman noticed it himself that I hadn't. Which means what, sir? It either means that he actually does have the key to his office, or the door Miss Bird opened wasn't this one at all, but a completely different one. I see what happened.
So he tricked her.
So the plates have been slided out, and I guess maybe the hoop has been moved?
Slid, not slided.
It's slewed. I love that one. I love that. Ba-ba-ba-ba-da. Prints on the number plate.
Like, well, for example, and such as... Well, we know for sure that Detective Gumshoe's dinner will only consist of instant noodles.
Wow, that was amazing, sure. How did you know? Is that supposed to be a joke to cheer me up, Mr. Edgeworth? Maggie is smarter than Gumshoe for sure. Prints on the doorknob then? I was, I guess, a step ahead.
There's no need for such belligerent nostril flaring, detective.
A certain other person's prints should be on this knob as well. Whose prints should be on the doorknob? Yay! Oh, we're looking downward. Oh, there's something written on it. I brought the pieces of evidence, but 3 pieces of evidence by, just like we talked about on the phone. But it looks like you're out. Guess I'll catch up to you later, buddy. So I guess...
Wouldn't it have been picked up if he were in his office?
Yeah. And it hasn't been. And also...
Yes.
The 3 pieces of evidence are most likely the files. No, it can't be. Never mind, because it must have been stolen afterwards. After the word Gumshoe has been written on it. Never mind. I was being stupid.
You're fine, sweetie boy.
Okay. Oh, I was going to check. Profiles? He has to be on here, right? Yes. In this game, Miles Edgeworth is 35. This game takes place like 8 or 9 years
Damn.
after Trials and Tribulations, which means he must have been, at this time, about 26 or 27, which means Portsman is 3 or 2 years older than Edgeworth in this game.
Wow.
Which is weird
That must
because Edgeworth has gray hair. Or silver, I
Edgeworth
guess.
has always had grey hair.
Yes, as a kid even. Which makes it seem like he's older.
Yeah. But not really though. Like it's not the grey hair.
Mm-hmm. He also has
He
like
has a lot of wrinkles for 26.
yes, he does.
He also the way he what's the word for it? The way he comports himself is a lot older than
Yeah. I think it's someone of the age of 26
Portsman.
or 27. Yeah, then Portsman for sure.
Portsman acts like he's a teenager.
Yeah.
His mindset probably hasn't left one.
Yeah.
Time to knock on Tooth's door.
Looking good. You there. Take good care of this. Well, if it isn't Detective Gumshoe. Call off your dog, Miss Edgeworth. Is this some kind of joke?
This is no joke. We know, Mr. Jacques Portsman, that you are the guilty party in this case.
So I guess you can stay if you promise to stay out of our way.
You intend to hide your crime under the guise of a prosecutor doing his job. Huh, I can see right through the unsightly paper-thin mask you wear upon your cowl.
Haha! Who'd have ever thought it would come to this? Yeah, also, like, Edgeworth's eyes are tiny compared to the rest of his face.
Yeah.
Which make him look older. Like, a lot.
Yeah. Maybe?
But there was always this incessant chatter about forged evidence with that guy. Really teaches me that I've got to stay on the lookout for false accusations, you know.
You're not trying to play mind games with me because they won't work. The only thing you should be using that mouth of yours for now is explaining yourself. Although that, too, will only dig your hole deeper. Either way, your game is up.
Well, aren't we full of ourselves, even though you have yet to prove anything? Mr. Portsman rebuttal. I have no idea what sort of harebrained idea you have in mind, but...
Phone. What's up, every... Jesus Christ. What's up every night you have in mind but? Is what Google has searched for. There's a mountain of evidence that points away from me being the culprit. Besides, how may I ask, do you propose I unlocked your door and got in here? Look, I feel bad doing this to you, but I've got work to do, so we're done here. Sorry, but we are not finished yet. Boy, you're stubborn. I suppose you're basing your accusations on something. I'll show you what I'm basing my accusations on. With evidence. What? Yeah, what?
You keep pressing forward too fast and you're not looking at the flowers.
Sorry. I have no idea what sort of harebrained idea you have in mind, but...
You don't have to narrate the line every single time.
I know.
Look at the flowers!
I'm seeing them. It's great.
You tell me. I'd say it is, after all.
Oh, and what, pray tell, kind of evidence are we talking about here?
Jim was my partner, so you can't say I had a motive for killing him.
And that's it? That's not even an anthill, let alone a mountain. An anthill.
But it's more than enough, wouldn't you agree?
Might I recommend that you review that word, what the word of evidence means?
It doesn't change the fact that the evidence doesn't point to me as the killer.
Ba-da. I know, but we'll see. Fortunately, I believe I have already shown how earlier.
Your speculations mean nothing, and as I insist that I could not gain access to your room.
What do I do now? Should I raise an objection?
Should we raise an objection now? Yeah, let's just raise an objection now.
Yeah.
You claim to have had no way to open my door. However, is that really the honest truth?
Haha, alright, I'll humor you. Go ahead, shoot.
Very well. Then I propose that you use this to open my door.
Yeah, just a master key.
I believe you were able to open my office door with the master key, no less.
Objection! Wait, hold on for a sec. I never laid a finger on that key, as you already know.
Precisely, you were able to open my door without lifting a single finger. Well, maybe you did, but only to direct. That's right, you used your finger to direct this person to open my door with the key. You had asked Miss Bird to open your own office door for you, yes?
Yeah, I kind of forgot my key at home. Happens a bit too often for my taste, you know?
But the room you had Miss Bird open at the time was not your own, was it?
What? You have quite the imagination. But why don't we ask the girl herself whose door she opened, shall we? I'm certain it was Mr. Portsman's door, sir. I checked the number plate to make sure it was opening the right door, sir. See, Miss Bird backs up my story.
Yeah, what if you had misled her to fool her into thinking what you wanted?
Huh, and how do you suppose I did that?
By switching the number plates on our doors, for example.
That's right, they do slide out pretty easily.
Furthermore, you then used one other thing to give a very strong impression. That the door she was opening was yours and not, in fact, mine.
The basketball hoop.
Take that!
What? The basketball hoop, sir?
It's quite a peculiar fixture in the hallway, let alone hallway in this building. As you might have left an unusually strong impression on you. It's an object perfectly suited to sit just outside the office of a peculiar prosecutor.
Gah! That's very true, sir. Because there was a basketball hoop sitting there, I thought the doorway I was opening had to be Mr. Portsman's.
There are signs that the hoop has been moved. So, to sit in front of my office, to be sure.
I see. So that's how you throw suspicion on people. Thanks for the tip. But I think your conjecture is a little off the racetrack. Now you're just spouting nonsense. I had the girl open my office door. After that, I was in my room the entire time. You don't have a single reason to suspect me.
No.
Because what you said earlier exactly explains that he wasn't. I'm as pure and innocent as my jacket. Remember what you said earlier? Sweetie?
What did I say earlier about the jacket?
Well, not about the jacket, but like about the fact that it couldn't have been in his room.
Yes, the note. I was a bit ahead on that.
Yeah, you were. Well, you weren't ahead. We were supposed to have known it at this point. So you're perfectly on point. And Miss Bird is as dirty and guilty as the jacket she wears. My jacket's not dirty, I'll have you know, I just washed it yesterday.
Please calm down, for I intend to show who is the one truly covered in slime here.
Ha ha ha. Conjecture's rebuttal. No, you're just spouting nonsense.
Please. Once. Only once.
Sorry.
I'm getting tired of hearing the same line 5 times just because you're trying to press him for information.
It's only twice. Sweetie.
Nonsense, you say?
Yes, because I'm telling the truth here. Great, thank you.
Using the master key, of course.
Sure, and you have a problem with that? That is what the master key is for, right?
Perhaps we should place it in an elaborate labyrinth of some sort for people like you. Great.
You know, that was kind of obsolete wording.
Oh.
Because a labyrinth is already elaborate. That's what makes it a labyrinth.
It's a labyrinth.
It's like saying a labyrinthine labyrinth.
Yeah.
And what were you doing in your office?
I was doing my usual training regimen.
Training regimen? Were you going through your law books from start to finish?
Mainly batting practice and some weights. Oh, and I jog when I get the chance.
Wow, you might be the buffest prosecutor we have. With the weakest legal muscles, it would seem.
I was doing my usual workouts, so you don't have a single reason to suspect me.
I think I've given you quite a few reasons, actually.
Objection! But none of those would stand up on their own.
Objection! And what about all the evidence?
Objection! It's all circumstantial. No judge would convict on such flimsy evidence.
He seems to be trembling a little. One more little push. All I have to do is find the flaw in this testimony.
And we present the note.
Objection! That was a lie.
What are you talking about? How was that a lie?
And this is a note that the victim left for you, Mr. Portsman.
A note?
It was left on your door. Or did you not notice? And right here it says, "But you're out." You were not in your room when the victim came to call on you. So then, where were you and what were you doing?
Ah!
Shall I explain in full detail for you? You were busy snooping around in my room. The very room you had Miss Bird open for you.
Objection! That's just nonsense. You have no evidence that I made the girl open your door for me.
Oh, but I do. I have very decisive evidence.
No way!
This is proof positive that you had Miss Bird open the door for you. Take that! You had your door dusted for prints.
My door? Oh, my door? What for? Come on, I bet you didn't find anything. You sure are good at wasting time.
You're right, I didn't find anything. And definitely not Miss Bird's fingerprints.
Her prints? What do they have to do with anything?
Let's put it this way, if she really was the one who opened your door, then her print should naturally be on the doorknob she touched.
Heck!
Further, all the prints on my office door's knob have been wiped clean off. I can only assume it's because Miss Bird's fingerprints were on it. Don't you think it's time you gave up your charade? We know you stole into my... We know you stole into my office with the intent of stealing something from me. And Detective Faith found you out. Possibly because he heard sounds coming from a room whose occupant was on a leave. Mr. Portsman, you killed Mr. Faith to silence him. And I had the misfortune to return when I did. You had to threaten me as you escaped. As I said when you had the gun to my back, no one gets away with committing murder in my office.
Why do they always laugh?
I don't know.
Oh, just what's so funny, pal?
Well, that look of stiff seriousness on the face of this office's finest prosecutor, as he makes a huge mistake in accusing me, is simply too much to bear. There's just nothing else like it in the world.
What?
Edgeworth just explained it all, and he even backed it up. You're the murderer. Stop trying to be slippery and just admit the crime already. And as I said earlier, it's all so circumstantial, so full of conjecture. So you say you checked my doorknob for prints? Well, I can readily confess that I wiped that knob down as well. I'm a little obsessive compulsive, you see. I didn't want to touch a doorknob that you had touched, which is why I wiped the knob down as soon as I could after you opened the door. Jesus Christ. After that, it makes perfect sense that only Jim's and my own prints would be on there.
You made that up just now, didn't you?
Furthermore,
There wasn't any prints on there.
there were
That's what he just said.
no on the doorknob of Portsman's door, there were only his and Jim's, and on Edgeworth's door there was none. Furthermore, as for the note Jim left for me, do you know exactly when that was? For all we know, it could have left it there before I arrived at the office, like early evening, for example.
Are you saying you failed to notice a note in your doorway?
Hey, even geniuses fail at times.
Oh, fuck. You shithead. You've got it coming.
I was probably too preoccupied, and I forgot to read the rest of the line. Shit. No, that's just a flat-out lie. There's no way you didn't notice a note that size. Ah, but you can't prove that, can you? Say something, Mr. Edgeworth. Back me up here, sir.
Portsman makes a good point. You can't prove that he didn't simply overlook it.
Besides, I have an airtight alibi.
Airtight, you say?
I only realized that I had one just now as we were talking. I guess it would have been better for us, all of us, if I had told you sooner.
Really?
If memory serves, you came back to this office at around 2 a.m., correct? It was then that you had an unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit. But exactly that time, I was down at Criminal Affairs. Ask around. I'm sure the other detective will corroborate my story. It's the perfect alibi.
Yeah, but if we think it's not the same person, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah, if it's two people.
Yeah, he's using the fact that we said something extra as an alibi. Do you really think it's that perfect?
Like I said, I don't care. Ask around all you like. You'll see for yourself.
Detective Gumshoe?
Sure, yeah, sure. I'll go check out his alibi, sir. Be right back.
Burb.
Burb. Mr. Edgeworth, I think we're in trouble. It's just like Mr. Portsman said. The guys down at Criminal Affairs said they saw him at around 2 a.m.
You see?
Oh, fuck off.
Well, all of the evidence points to him being the culprit, so there must be a contradictory point in his alibi somewhere.
Ba 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 wow. Ba 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 da 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 da.
You're correct, it was around 2 a.m.
Are you sure? It's really important to me that you're spot on with the time.
I remember checking my watch and that, make no mistake, was 2.
Ooh, giving a testimony like a pro. Okay, so you came back to your office at 2. We're both sniffing.
Sorry.
No, we're both sniffing. That's no problem.
Oh, God.
As you say, however.
Yes, however, you're the only one who claims to have bumped into the culprit. So tell me, did you see the person's face? Was it me who you saw?
It was pitch black, so I couldn't actually see.
Objection! Oh, come now. I'm sure you saw something. Try a little harder, why don't you?
I'm beginning to feel like I'm the one being interrogated right here.
Oh well, doesn't matter if you remember or not. It only matters that you ran into the culprit. Mm-hmm.
So you paid the Criminal Affairs Department a visit?
Yep. Right after I left the prosecutor's building, I headed straight to the precinct. Ask around, I'm sure the other detectives will corroborate my story. It's the perfect alibi.
Well, we did go and ask around to confirm your testimony.
And it was just as I said, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sure. A number of detectives said that they saw you at around that time. See? I have the perfect alibi. That's the ace I had up my sleeve.
Impossible. He actually does have the perfect alibi.
And now we wait until our Mia's back. In the meantime, I'm gonna play some Spirit of Justice. You can hear, you listen. I'm playing the DLC case, by the way, of Spirit of Justice. I won't spoil it, but let's see, is there anything to talk about? No, we actually talked about everything. Should I go to the dock? Maybe. September 22nd. Sprocket Park. Mooring dock. So, where should we start? Let's see. Are there any places we haven't examined yet? We already investigated the reception hall and Sprocket Manor. I know, we haven't looked at the Vista deck or the hold yet. Hey, you're right! We still got some pretty important places left to examine, don't we? The Vista deck is the actual scene of the murder, right? The lantern with the body in it was stored in the hold. I think there's a good chance we'll find some important clues in those locations. Do we know how to get to the hold? Good question. I think it was labeled in the diagram of the airship in the pamphlet. Here it is. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go. I shouldn't say anything that like reveals any plot points. Hey Nick, what are we supposed to? Nope. How's it going, Mr. Wright? Character. Detective. What are you doing here? Just a little independent investigating for my own sake. Gotta keep the mind sharp. Ah, so the doors... Okay, I can't say too much without actually spoiling stuff. Oh, right! I want to see that. This case is cool. Is that blued? Done. This case is really neat. I'm gonna save it and close though because...
Mom's on her way home.
Oh, okay. We should be almost done
Wait.
with it, I think. With the...
Why did you stop?
I took a little break from the game because you were gone and I didn't want you to miss stuff. So I played some Spirit of Justice instead.
Oh,
Anyway.
sorry about that. But yeah, I'm getting dessert. We have caramel apple pies now at McDonald's.
That sounds good.
Or at the very least, caramel pies. Salted caramel something.
I want that. We're gonna go to McDonald's when I'm there.
Yeah, sure. You can
sure.
see all the fancy shit we have because we're a test market.
Yeah. That's awesome, actually. The Netherlands are pretty much never a test market for anything. At least not
Well,
food-wise.
you're not a small English-speaking population.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking
So
forward.
therefore, they want nothing
I'm-
to do with you.
I'm like looking forward to like eating like a disgustingly fat burger and just like when we get back home, just like dropping on the bed, like incapable of doing anything.
What? Why would you have a
I don't know.
disgustingly fat burger?
No,
Are you wanting to go to
no.
like a fish and chip shop or something and get
no.
one of their very
No,
large
no.
burgers?
No, I just meant like a burger, like just like a Whopper or something.
Well, that's not good enough.
it's not that disgusting, no, but it's greasy. That's what I meant.
Anyway, I dare you to go up to a McDonald's staff member and ask for a Whopper.
That's not what I meant. Like a big tasty then. Fucking
A big tasty.
yeah.
Ooh, what's that?
You don't have that? Oh, it's a good burger. I'll show
a big
you.
tasty. We have a Big Mac.
Yeah, we have that too. Big tasty with bacon. They have it in the UK. And big tasty beef with bacon is it's a burger with beef and bacon. It has Emmentaler molten Emmentaler cheese, tomato, fresh onions. Well, you won't have that. Lettuce and special grill sauce on a sesame bun. It's really good.
Okay.
It's really good. It's my favorite burger from the McDonald's, and you won't have it. Yay! so I'll try something different when I'm there.
Rude. You're so rude.
I'm rude. I'm not rude. Anyway,
Impossible. He
You're
actually.
little.
no, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
No, no.
Yeah, you are.
No. It's like just sending it to the SpongeBob meme. No. Anyway.
Impossible. He actually does have a perfect alibi.
What's wrong? Why the sudden sullen look on your face?
Can you say anything back, Mr. Edgeworth?
I think we've reached the end of the line and it's time to get off this crazy train. You there! Sir! Please escort the young lady out, but remember, be gentle.
Muggy!
Detective Gumshoe!
Is there nothing I can do? There must be a way to turn this situation around. If I only had a clue, did I miss something that can help me cast doubt in this alibi? I need to calmly think this through one more time and with logic. There were 2 bullets left at the scene of the crime. One that robbed Mr. Faith of his life, and one that nearly robbed me of my jacket. However, the murder weapon only shows signs of being fired once, meaning that it's entirely possible that a second gun was used in my office tonight. But seeing as how the killer had to steal Mr. Faith's gun, I doubt the killer had another gun up their sleeve. Therefore, the second gun could have been the property of an entirely different person, which could mean
Here we go.
that there was another person who paid a visit to my office tonight.
I was way ahead on that.
Yeah, we were way ahead, yeah. Though it was a fact that we could see from the very beginning. We used our logic before Edgeworth did. Ha ha ha.
Okay, but even then, we weren't shown that there were 2 people. The way it was shown was the killer, and then Edgeworth being threatened. Okay, so we weren't specifically told
Yeah, but we did.
that there were 2 people.
But also, we just kept open the possibility of it being a second person. It was an open possibility that we kept. Therefore, we did everything right, and we were just smart. Yeah, we didn't like mess up by being smart. Come on. Yeah.
I never said we were messing up. I'm just simply saying that from the very beginning we were like, maybe 2 people.
Yeah.
Which is...
True. That would also resolve the issue of why my shelves were upended twice.
Never mind, continue.
Sorry.
I forgot what I was going to say anyway, so don't worry.
Okay.
We don't know that the shelves were disturbed once before and once after the murder, so it shouldn't be much of a stretch to think that it was the work of 2 different people. Once by the person who stole the victim's gun and killed him with it. And once again after the murder by our second culprit. Who was the owner of the second gun? If we suppose that the second culprit's gun was one that was pointed at my back. Objection! Mr. Portsman, it seems that that I need to amend my assumptions regarding this case.
Great, so you finally come to your senses. Mr. Edgeworth!
So, what are you saying?
This has been a big misunderstanding on my part from the start. I'd assumed that the person I ran into was the killer, but that may not be the case.
What do you mean?
The person I ran into was just your average thief.
A thief? But sure, doesn't that cause some sort of contradiction in the facts?
Not at all. It simply means that the killer was someone else. And it means that in actuality, 2 culprits stole into my office tonight.
What do you mean? What do you mean 2?
It explains both why my shelves were disturbed twice and how there were 2 guns. Mr. Portsman took Miss Bird and gained entry into my office.
Objection! Oh, you're just leading the argument. You still don't have any actual proof, you know.
If you could please go along with my hypothetical scenario for now, Mr. Portsman. In the end, if you really are innocent, you should have nothing to worry about. Grr. Now then, returning to my scenario, Mr. Portsman was out to steal something from me, which is why he checked my secret safe and ransacked my shelves. This is the first time.
So then, this will be when the files were put back in the wrong orders, right?
Correct. And then, just when he was about to look somewhere else, who should walk in but his own partner, Mr. Faith?
But why did Mr. Faith come into your room, sir?
He probably had business with Mr. Portsman, which is why he was in the area. But that's when he noticed sounds coming from my office, would be my guess.
Oh, because you were supposed to be away, right?
I must have thought it was odd, so I came into this office to check it out.
Correct. And as a detective, that was the right thing to do. But when he came in, he found his own partner standing there. Because it was Mr. Portsman, Mr. Faith probably let his guard down. Mr. Portsman was not merciful as to let him leave alive. He waited for a chance to steal Mr. Faith's gun from him, and then he killed him. He silenced Mr. Faith for catching him in the act of stealing. This was the moment in which the first shot was fired, the one that landed in my files. Following that, Mr. Portsman wiped the gun down and left it behind as he made his exit. He could afford to do that because he had also left the fake dying message behind.
You're such a complicated troublemaker, you know that?
Well, if things were as simple as that, then all would be solved. However, there was yet another visitor to my room, and this is when it gets complicated.
There was another?
Visitor, sure?
Yes, and this other person's objective was to steal something from me. Now then, even after Mr. Portsman left, the door to my office remained unlocked. However, this new visitor had no way of knowing that, and so they stole the master key from the security guard's room, and then entered my room and searched through my shelves. This was the second time they were disturbed, and it seems the thief found their prize.
The stolen zero file, right? Sure?
Correct. Only just as the thief was about to leave the file, I appeared. The thief then threatened me with their own gun and made their escape. The second bullet was fired during the brief encounter.
So the shell's getting messed up twice in 2 bullets. It's all because the 2 different people were doing those things at 2 different times.
Precisely. So now do you see, Mr. Portsman? The person I met was just a thief, and not in fact Mr. Faith's killer. Your alibi for the time frame in which I ran into the other person is now irrelevant. Because we now know that the murder took place during the first culprit's visit.
Objection!
What's so funny, pal?
Absolutely splendid.
Your scenario explains everything.
Of course it does. It's Mr. Edgeworth after all.
But you know, it still doesn't change the fact that it's all circumstantial. Supposing if, and that's a big if, your theory is right, it would indeed render my alibi, which was withstood scrutiny, mind you, irrelevant. But there is still one defining point of your argument for which you have no evidence. Your supposition that I was the first visitor.
Mr. Edgeworth, you can't let him get away with that, sure?
But he has a point. I absolutely have no proof at this point.
Don't say that, sir.
I don't believe it. Don't worry, Maggie, I'll do something if I must.
You know something? I find your attitude to be somewhat peculiar, Mr. Edgeworth. If the person you met really was just a plain old thief, then why is that person not your main suspect? That is, if your theory is correct. The thief you ran into should be your real suspect, wouldn't you say? We should be out there looking for the thief right now. It might still be nearby. I hate to repeat myself, but as I've already said, I was trading in my room. When Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down in criminal affairs. So I can't be expected to know what happened around here after I left.
So you think we should be out there looking for the thief?
Of course! Now's the time to be wasting time on dead-end discussions.
I don't think it's all that dead-ended. I find your alibi to be fascinating. Let's continue where we left off, shall we? I know he's lying. I know he was here at the scene of the crime. I just have to find a way to prove it.
You don't pause at all, so...
You can ask
Very
for a
difficult
break.
to- No, I know. But I don't want to interrupt the flow of this. You
Okay.
don't stop to think about anything and try and get ahead of the game.
True. I kind of just like follow along with the voice acting.
I know. I always stop and think for a long time before I proceed.
Yeah. And that's how you like win the game. Meanwhile, I like lose almost every life because I don't like think ahead. Usually.
Amazing.
Yes. Only when I'm given like a time to like think and like think ahead, then I'll do it, and then like everything goes well.
You
As
are
you've seen.
exactly like Mr. Wright himself.
Ouch. Well, not completely. I do think ahead a little bit.
At least you're bluffing along with the game.
Well, not really. I do think ahead little bits.
You're not helping your case.
Shut up. Now, whenever like situations are presented to me, then I think ahead. And also, like, what also happens like often is like when I have to take a break and I put the game down and like I get like a lot of time to think like away from the game. It also happens with other games. Like then I think ahead, and like what ends up happening is that I predict the game almost perfectly. Unless there's of course pieces of evidence that are like missing. But what happened, for example, with Okamiden, I remember that one of your partners would like leave for some time, and like while I like had to like I was on vacation while I like had to put away the garbage, I was thinking of like the circumstances, and I perfectly predicted why he left and where he left to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Anyway.
Actually, no, I wouldn't.
Well, why not?
That's elementary. I had the dying message, of course. Mr. Faith's killer very clearly left those letters on the spines of those files. It was after they were on there that the thief stole one of them. And that's how we also know the letters themselves were set up, and not from Mr. Faith. And if the thief was the killer, you think they would try to undermine themselves?
Maybe the killer just didn't think of that either. Yes, that must be it. Maybe, just maybe.
Once escaped, I highly doubt the thief would linger nearby.
Well, you never know. Maybe they didn't get what they were really after.
Oh, you talk like you know quite a bit about this thief.
That's nothing like that. I have no idea about anything after all.
I repeat myself, but as I already said, I was trading in your room. My room. But according to Mr. Faith's note...
Hold on, I thought we already cleared that up. Didn't we say that Jim left that note for me in the early evening? You have proof that he left it at a different time, say, just before he was murdered.
I don't have any, no.
So you see. So I insist again that I was in my office the entire time. And when Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down in criminal affairs.
Why didn't you go there with Mr. Faith?
That's because he said he was tired and going to take a quick nap. You know those sofas in the hallway? He likes to sleep on those. It's one of his habits.
What of the evidence that he brought?
They were things related to yesterday's case. Just 2 items. A gun and a pendant.
What's the third?
Interesting. This piece of testimony seems too crucial to let slip through the cracks.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to want to say a third. But me 2 items. A gun and a pendant. I didn't say 3, actually. Did I?
He said 3. Yes.
Oh,
the note
yes.
said 3.
Right.
I brought you the 3 things you asked for.
Yes.
Objection! Only 2 pieces. I believe the proper phrase here is, you fail!
Excuse me?
You fail as a prosecutor, Mr. Portsman, as you intend to keep evidence hidden from me.
What are you talking about? I haven't hidden anything from you.
Well, here's a piece I think you should read carefully.
It says Mr. Faith was bringing 3 pieces.
Yes, and this is the victim's real dying message to you, Mr. Portsman.
I can't believe they got trapped out by simple arithmetic.
Where is the missing piece of evidence?
It's...
You have it, don't you? Only the guilty would make such a face. Detective Gumshoe.
If you say it, sure, I'll pat the guy down from head to toe.
Well, don't come any closer. I'm warning you. This is all part of the investigation.
This is all part of the investigation, pal. So don't even think about stopping me, pal!
No! Hey, what's this?
Yeah, this I'm sure.
Despite what you said, it would appear that you do have something to hide.
But why would you hide something like that?
There's only one reason why anyone would hide evidence of this caliber. Because it would unequivocally point that... Unequivocally? I don't know. Point to that...
spelled wrong.
Okay.
As far as I'm aware, it's unequivocally.
Unequivocally?
I've never seen it spelt like that.
Okay. We'll see. Point to the real person himself as the real killer. Let's examine this videotape in a little more detail. For the section of the tape that will drive the last nail into this coffin.
Perhaps.
You may want to switch to the bottom screen for this.
Oh, it's blood, isn't it?
Yes, and I believe this is what the good prosecutor was trying to hide from us. This blood is still fresh.
You mean this might be Detective Faith's blood?
Perhaps before plowing on ahead.
Yeah. Yes.
Reorder yourself.
Sorry.
No, you got it all wrong.
No amount of denial can save you, but we have to run a blood test to find the truth. You told us that you had received evidence from the victim earlier. Now you will tell us when and how did the victim's blood find its way onto this video.
Yeah, it's totally suspicious.
Was that the moment of his death? Did Detective Faith have this videotape on his personage when you killed him?
You know very well there's no way to prove that.
And even if we were to examine this tape for fingerprints?
Ah!
If I had to take a guess, I'd say that the only ones on here would belong to the murderous you and Mr. Faith.
No, impossible.
Oh my god, he actually ate it!
He did.
Mr. Portsman has been placed under arrest for the murder of Detective Buddy Faith, sir.
Very good.
The results we got back from the lab techs on the tape turned out to be real solid, sir. The blood work came back and it was definitely Mr. Faith's blood on there. And as a bonus, they also were able to lift a few of Mr. Faith's fingerprints as well.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Edgeworth. I still can't believe I got to see your cool deduction skills outside of the courtroom. I'm impressed beyond words, sir.
It was nothing. I'm just sorry you got caught up in the murder in my office. Please accept my apologies.
Oh, it was nothing, really, compared to what I've been through, I mean. I consider myself lucky that I was only a burglary and a murder this time, sir. Had I been a hold-up or a hostage situation, I'd have thrown my hands up in the air. I think I'm finally rising up from a goddess of misfortune to just an unlucky person.
Something tells me we should have hired a different person for security detail.
You know something, sir? That Mr. Portsman really was one corrupt prosecutor.
And why would you say he was corrupt?
Well, I heard that there were a number of suspicious things related to this court case. There's even rumors about how some of the evidence she used is forged, sir.
Forged evidence, huh?
And they say he even decided not to prosecute a few cases for some really vague reasons.
Ooh, that guy was a complete disgrace to the entire profession.
We never did get around to asking what his reason was for breaking into my office.
Yeah, whenever we got near that topic, he just clammed up.
Although we can be pretty certain that it was to steal something.
It was just between you and me, sir, but there's a rumor that some sort of huge organization is involved behind the scenes.
Oh, well, well. With Mr. Portsman not willing to divulge anything, I'm certain it certainly lends credence to that rumor. It would seem that we haven't heard the last of this.
Huh? Then Mr. Portsman isn't the bad guy?
I didn't say that, but rather, there are still many more mysteries for us to solve. For example, we still haven't figured out the significance of this piece of evidence either. Take that! The person who stole this file, the other villain of the night.
Yeah, I wonder who it was.
And what happened to the stolen pages? I wonder.
What has it got to do with that other prosecutor?
What?
Who was that other prosecutor?
It wasn't a prosecutor. It was just the thief.
No. The files belonged to another prosecutor.
Oh, that.
Who was he, and what significance did he have to that masked person currently on the screen?
Lana Sky was the previous chief prosecutor. But no, that was... I'm thinking chief prosecutor again. But he's not the chief prosecutor. I don't know.
No, it was the chief prosecutor's room previously. That's what he said.
Oh, okay. The head prosecutor, yeah. That's what he said. Weird. Anyway.
This card!
What is it, sir? Is there a bird or something on there?
It's not just any bird. It's the mark of the raven. Of three-legged raven. Even you should know what this is, Detective.
Oh, it's about that thing, isn't it? The great thief everyone's talking about?
Yes, it is the mark of the great thief Yatagarasu. We're getting Japanese up in
Wow.
this bitch.
They couldn't Americanize that.
Nope, they couldn't.
The modern Robin Hood.
Labeled mysterious and phantom-like, the Yatagarasu appears and vanishes at will. Though we don't know much about the thief's ultimate goal, we do know the targets. The Yatagarasu likes to find and make public evidence of corrupt dealings of all sorts. The theft is always performed in silence and always with perfection. Once the target is chosen, no dramatic calling card or announcement is sent forth. Instead, the chosen corporation is infiltrated without even the target noticing. Some days later, the evidence that was found is sent out to the mass media, along with the single card. Although it has been a while since the Yatagarasu last appearance.
Hey, Edgeworth. Look, something is written on the back.
What? Let me see. The location of where the thief put the stolen files. Whoops, wrong voice. So the person who stole the contents of the file was the Yatagarasu? Yatagarasu. Organization. Quite a few keywords are popping up in this mystery. The murder in my office. Return of the great thief, Yatagarasu. Looking back, I can't say I didn't see these evidence coming. For they were heralded by the incident that began to occur 2 days ago.
Flashback case. Yeah. Turnabout Airlines. Save, please. Please.
No.
Who is that outline? Okay. Well, we'll see you next time. I know who it is.
I don't know what you were expecting.
I know who it is. You'll know soon too. Anyway.
I'm assuming it's the girl you were talking about.
No.
The new one.
No.
No?
No.
No?
No. It's a different character. Anyway, see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching.